talking about that right now. In the last 5 years, more than 13 million people have taken time off work because of stress. Now, some blame unrealistic deadlines and workloads, and others say it is the long working hours.
But the stigma around stress means that many don't own up to the real reason for calling in sick. New research found more than half of those who took time off told their colleagues they were suffering from another illness. Nearly 40% worried they'd be thought of as weak if they admitted being stressed. And 70% went back to work earlier than they should have because they felt guilty.
Psychologist Jo Hemmings joins us now. Very good morning to you.
Good morning.
So people are taking time off work because they're stressed about work. Indeed. And they're not able to say to work that's the reason they're taking time off.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, you know, it's the highest reason for why we take off, you know, time off work. It's 40%. And people are either feeling that they're embarrassed to talk to someone about it, there's no one to talk to about it, afraid that they'll feel weak, there's some shame. There are physical manifestations of stress, and those are the ones sometimes they're reporting. But there is still a stigma around actually saying, I feel stressed in the workplace.
One of the things I think, Jo, is that different people will have different appreciations of what stress actually is, and it's all relative, isn't it? One person's stress could be somebody else's standard day. So if someone comes into work and said, I can't come into work, I'm too stressed, the person sat next to them said, let me tell you what stress is. Stress is having 5 kids and having, you know, and that's one of the difficulties, isn't it?
Very, very hard, because there is that compare and contrast, and there's that sense that someone else will be looked upon more favourably than you because they're not complaining about it, or that it'll actually stay with you even when you're through it. You'll be known as that person that could go under stress and, you know, go from work at any moment. So it has got that stigmatisation and that difficulty that goes along with it.
I wonder what the research is on being honest about it at work, because we often talk, don't we, about we need to, you know, sort of reduce the stigma about stress at work. But if you say, I'm taking a week off work because I'm stressed and can't do my job, and that has, you know, you're worried that has consequences for other people and for your job, it's not surprising that we're going to cover it up. No one wants to lose their job because they're seen as the weakest link.
And I think that's always been a fear, that sort of job security. I mean, this gets much worse during economic recessions. Well, what happens is that people put more hours on people, there are less staff, and then when we come out of a recession, the economy gets better, that doesn't change. Those people with this short-term challenge of very long hours, actually it's quite motivating, it's quite productive, but long-term it's not sustainable, so people do feel that stress of something that should have gone back to a certain system or certain hours, and it stayed as it was.
So, Jo, there's people sitting at home today thinking, I'm horrendously stressed, I can't tell anyone about it. What are the best ways of trying to deal with it, certainly in the short term, so maybe you can get through the day or get to the point where you can feel honest about it?
And the most important thing is to recognise when you need to say no. Recognise when you get up to a point when you can't do something and not feel embarrassed or ashamed about it. Find someone to talk to at work, if that's HR or somebody else who's dedicated, just to explain how you're feeling at that stage, and go and see your GP. But don't try and disguise it as something else. Don't feel ashamed about it. Don't feel embarrassed, and don't feel it threatens your job. You know, we live in 2015. We should be more understanding about these kind of sort of mental health problems that people are having.
Indeed. All right, Jo, thanks very much indeed.
Thanks,
Thank
Jo.
you.